Hello and welcome. You're watching World News. I am Pankaj Mishra. The highlights of the show: the rising military tension in the Gulf, fresh espionage claims out of Tehran, a deadly fighter jet crash in Turkey, and a winter storm that has frozen America's northeast. From hard power to harsh weather, the global temperature is indeed shifting rapidly. We begin in West Asia. The United States is once again flexing hard power near Iran. Warships, strategic bombers, fighter jets, all positioned within striking distance. During his State of the Union address, President Donald Trump declared that despite what he described as a total obliteration of Iran's nuclear infrastructure last year, Tehran is attempting a comeback. Trump claimed Iran has resumed work on missile systems capable of reaching the United States, accusing Tehran of ignoring clear warnings following last June's US strikes on Fordow, Natanz and Esfahan. Trump was clear: United States won't allow Tehran to build nukes. Here's the full report.
During his State of the Union address, President Donald Trump addressed rising tensions with Iran, particularly its missile program. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America, Trump said.
They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America.
His remarks came as part of a broader discussion on foreign policy. He highlighted strikes his administration carried out on Iran's nuclear facilities in 2025, reiterated a preference for diplomacy, but issued a stark warning against Iran pursuing nuclear weapons or further aggression. Trump described Iran as the world's #1 sponsor of terror and pointed to ongoing military buildups in the region, including U.S. forces positioned near Iran amid stalled diplomatic talks.
They were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue, starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon.
This latest statement follows a history of escalating tensions, beginning with the U.S. withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal in 2018, the 2020 killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, Iran's missile attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq, and strikes on Israel in 2024. Iran currently possesses the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East, including short and medium-range missiles capable of striking targets across the region and U.S. bases overseas. Advanced models like the Fatah-1 hypersonic missile and Khaybar Shikan have been deployed against Israel with improved precision. However, these missiles cannot reach the continental United States. The distance from Iran to the East Coast is roughly 9,500 kilometers, which would require intercontinental ballistic missiles, technology Iran does not currently deploy. U.S. intelligence reports indicate Iran has the potential to develop ICBMs in the long term. The 2025 Defense Intelligence Agency report estimates Iran could field a militarily viable ICBM by around 2035, potentially with up to 60 missiles. But there is no public evidence that Iran has begun such a program. Recent focus appears more on regional threats and anti-ship cruise missiles, including possible deals with China for supersonic CM-302 variants. Trump's timeline of soon for U.S. reaching missiles is not supported by current intelligence, which suggests a development horizon of at least 9 years if Iran were to pursue it. Analysts say his statement is partially true. Iran poses a regional threat and future long-range missile development is possible, but the immediate threat to the U.S. remains overstated. Trump's statement fits a pattern of emphasizing potential threats to justify military readiness and influence diplomatic negotiations, a strategy that has shaped U.S.-Iran relations for years. For now, Iran's missiles remain a regional concern, but a direct U.S. threat is not imminent.
Iranian-linked media reports now claim that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has seized what is being described as a Bahraini spy boat, allegedly operating for U.S. interests. Social media posts suggest the vessel was escorted into Iranian waters. However, there is no independent verification till now. No confirmation from Washington, none from Manama either. Details about the vessel and its crew, the cargo or the mission profile remain unclear. If true, it would signal a maritime intelligence confrontation in one of the world's most volatile waterways. Here's what we know so far.
Reports have emerged claiming that Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, recently seized a vessel described as a, quote, Bahraini spy boat, allegedly operating on behalf of the United States. Multiple posts on social media circulated the claim between February 24th and 25th, 2026. The report said the boat was escorted into Iranian waters. Iranian media sources, including Mehr News, were cited as the original source, though no official article has been publicly verified. The accounts described the vessel as conducting espionage for U.S. interests. Details about the boat's type, crew, cargo, or exact location remain unknown, and there is no confirmation from U.S., Bahraini, or international authorities. This alleged seizure comes amid long-standing tensions in the Persian Gulf. Iran views U.S. and allied naval operations near its territorial waters as provocative, while Bahrain hosts the U.S. Fifth Fleet, making it a frequent focus of Iranian rhetoric. Historically, similar incidents have occurred. In 2016, 2 U.S. Navy boats accidentally drifted into Iranian waters near Farsi Island. The IRGC seized the boats, detained the crew briefly, and later released them after diplomatic negotiations. No espionage was proven in that case, and it was deemed accidental. Other IRGC maritime actions include attempted seizures of U.S. unmanned surface vessels in 2022 and the capture of tankers in the Strait of Hormuz in 2023, often linked to retaliation for sanctions or regional disputes. Analysts caution that the 2026 claim remains unverified. There are no photos, satellite imagery, or crew statements confirming the event. It could represent a minor encounter, a misinformation campaign, or a symbolic demonstration amid heightened U.S.-Iran tensions. If true, the seizure could escalate hostilities between Iran and the U.S., potentially drawing Bahrain into the conflict as a U.S. ally. Past incidents show Iran often uses such maritime actions to assert sovereignty and gain leverage in negotiations. The U.S. and Bahraini governments have not issued statements. Neutral observers, including maritime tracking sites, report no unusual disruptions in the area, suggesting the incident may not have occurred or was minor. For now, the reports remain unconfirmed, echoing previous IRGC seizures and highlighting the ongoing tensions between Iran, the United States, and its regional allies. More information is expected to emerge as authorities investigate.
A Turkish Air Force F-16 fighter jet has crashed during a mission flight, killing its pilot. The aircraft went down shortly after takeoff from Balıkesir's 9th Main Jet Base Command. Video shows the jet descending rapidly before impact. Radar and radio contact were lost within minutes. Search and rescue teams confirmed the wreckage in the early hours of Wednesday. Turkey's military aviation safety record has been under scrutiny in recent years, and this crash will likely intensify calls for technical and operational review. Here's the latest.
Tonight, a frontline fighter jet fell out of the sky. Not in a war zone, not over enemy territory, but over a highway in western Turkey. Late Monday night, a Turkish Air Force F-16 crashed near the city of Balıkesir, and the pilot did not survive. Here's what we know. At around 0050 local time, just before 1 a.m., an F-16 assigned to the 9th Main Jet Base Command in Balıkesir took off on what officials described as a mission flight. Just 6 minutes later, at 0056, something went wrong. Radio communication was lost, radar tracking disappeared, and within moments, the aircraft was gone. The crash happened near the busy Bursa-Izmir Highway, a major artery in western Turkey. Emergency vehicles rushed to the scene. Ambulances, police, search and rescue teams. Videos posted online show debris scattered across the ground, fragments of metal torn apart, locals gathering cautiously at a distance. This wasn't a remote military zone. This was near civilian infrastructure. That detail matters. The Turkish Ministry of National Defense confirmed the aircraft had crashed after immediate search efforts. In an official statement, the ministry said the jet lost both radio contact and tracking data shortly after takeoff. The wreckage was located, and the pilot, they said, had become a martyr. That word, martyr, carries weight in Turkey. It signals not just loss, but national sacrifice. Now attention turns to the question everyone is asking. What happened in those 6 minutes? F-16s are highly sophisticated multi-role fighter jets, fast, reliable, widely used across NATO forces. Turkey has operated them for decades. So when one crashes shortly after takeoff, investigators look at several possibilities: mechanical failure, human factors, weather conditions, or a systems malfunction. At this stage, officials are saying very little about the cause, and that's deliberate. Turkey's Justice Minister, Akun Gürlük, announced that a formal investigation is now underway. The Balıkesir Public Prosecutor's Office has been assigned to examine the incident. According to Gürlük, a prosecutor, deputy prosecutor, and 2 additional prosecutors have already gone to the crash site. This is not being treated as routine. It's being treated as a serious military and legal investigation. Accident investigation teams will now analyze flight data, maintenance records, pilot communications, and debris patterns. They'll try to reconstruct the final moments, second by second. Because when a fighter jet disappears from radar 6 minutes after takeoff, every second matters.
A powerful winter storm has paralyzed large parts of U.S. Northeast. More than 11,000 flights are grounded. 500,000 homes and businesses are without power. Highways are abandoned under whiteout conditions. Several states have imposed travel bans as emergency crews struggle to restore order. Even as snowfall begins to ease, the disruption is expected to linger for days. Here's a ground report from the storm zone.
This week, a historic blizzard brought one of the most powerful regions in the world to a complete standstill. The U.S. Northeast, home to New York City, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, was hit by a winter storm so intense that over 11,000 flights were canceled and more than 500,000 people were left in the dark. This wasn't just a snow day. This was infrastructure under pressure. A powerful late winter system swept through the region, dumping more than a foot of snow across at least 8 states. In some places, much more. In Manhattan's Central Park, about 20 inches of snow fell between Sunday and Monday. Out on Long Island, Islip saw more than 22 inches, but the real headline came from Providence, 32.8 inches. That's not just a big number. That breaks a record set during the famous blizzard of 1978. Meteorologists called this one of the most intense late-season snowstorms in years. And then the travel system collapsed. Airlines canceled or grounded more than 11,000 flights between Sunday and Tuesday. Major airports in New York and Boston filled with stranded passengers. At John F. Kennedy International Airport, wind gusts hit 47 miles per hour. Out on Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, gusts reached 70 miles per hour. That's strong enough to ground planes and snap tree limbs. Train travel wasn't safe either. Amtrak suspended service between New York and Boston through Monday night. Thousands of travelers were left with one option: wait. But the real crisis wasn't at the airport. It was at home. At the height of the storm, more than 519,000 homes and businesses from Virginia to Massachusetts lost power. Heavy, wet snow weighed down power lines. Tree branches snapped. Transformers failed. New Jersey reported over 93,000 outages, but Massachusetts was hit hardest, with more than 282,000 customers in the dark. Utility crews worked nonstop. Officials warned restoration could take days. On the roads, conditions turned dangerous fast. Whiteout conditions made visibility near zero. Several states imposed travel bans. In Massachusetts, officials reported abandoned cars blocking major routes. Snowplows couldn't move. Tow trucks couldn't reach stranded passengers. Governor Maura Healey urged residents to stay off the roads for the safety of emergency crews. By Monday afternoon, the snow began to ease. In New York City, officials lifted restrictions on streets, highways, and bridges. Schools announced they would reopen, but the aftermath remained. Businesses operated with limited staff. Commuters struggled. Power crews raced against time. And even the energy markets felt it. Natural gas futures surged nearly 7% as heating demand spiked. But then prices pulled back. Why? Because when 500,000 customers lose power, they can't use energy. Wholesale electricity prices stayed relatively stable. Closures actually kept demand lower than expected. This storm wasn't just about snow. It was a stress test. For airlines, for power grids, for emergency response, for cities that rarely truly stop. And for a few days, the Northeast did just that. Frozen, grounded, in the dark.
So, from military brinkmanship in the Gulf to contested waters to a deadly air crash and a climate crisis unfolding in real time, the message is clear. Instability wears many faces. That's all for now on World News. I'm Pankaj Mishra. Thanks for watching.